Hi, everyone. I'm Robin, and I'm a business development consultant from the country of Bermuda. My business partner, Bill, and I figured out how to go from being a physical small business interacting with clients face to face to being almost an entirely virtual company doing business on a daily basis with people all around the world. And we realized that if we could figure out how to do this, then we could probably help you figure out how to do this too. If you're watching this series, it's in the hope that you're going to be able to do more business more successfully in the virtual world all around the world. Today, we're going to talk about a lot of things that have to do with successfully interacting with people on video. And these rules apply whether or not you're doing a full-on broadcast production for YouTube, or whether you're just having a face-to-face meeting with a client or even an existing client. So let's get to it. Okay. So in this first clip, as you can probably tell, I'm talking to you from my cell phone, which happens to be an iPhone. It's a pretty good one. And you've got my full attention. I'm looking right at the camera and I have myself fully in the frame. But is this really a comfortable image to look at for an entire hour in a business meeting? Let's see what else we could do and see whether or not it makes any difference to how likely you are to want to talk to me and pay attention to me for a whole hour. So this time I'm talking to you from my tablet. The screen's a little bigger. Hopefully you can see me a little clearer. I'm in the same room with exactly the same lighting setup, but how do I look? How do I sound? Is this really the best that we can do? Okay, so this time I'm using the laptop camera and the laptop audio recording. So you can see already that my coloring is better, that I'm looking directly at the lens. But what do you think? How do I sound right now? Do I sound the way you would want to sound if you were trying to land a new client? And this was a very important meeting. Is this comfortable to look at? Do you think my setup is professional? I mean, I'm showing you that I've got all kinds of the right equipment. I've got the broadcast microphone. I've got a green screen. But do I look like I have my act together? What do you think? All right. I have realized that things aren't exactly the way I want them to be. So I've gone ahead and I've looked on Amazon and I've ordered myself an external webcam, and it has a built-in microphone, and I'm sitting up right in front of the camera and I'm looking at it and I'm talking to you and the lighting's not too bad. Is everything okay? Is this the best we can do with limited resources when we're at home and we don't have any tech support? What do you think? Are there ways that we could still improve? Okay, so now the only thing that's changed is I have turned on the broadcast microphone that you can see in the screen next to me. And I'm talking to you from the webcam that I have mounted on top of my monitor. I look the same, but how do I sound? Do I sound clearer? Does my voice have a better tone? Which version of me would you most like to talk to? While you think about that for a moment, let's talk about green screen. Now, as you can see in my Zoom meeting features, I've enabled the green screen. And I've got my webcam and I've got my external broadcast microphone. What do you think of this image? Do I look good sitting in front of that image? Or do you think maybe I look a little bit pale and washed out? Let's see what happens if we change the background image. Okay, so what do we think of this picture? It happens to be one that I took myself. I think personally, this one's pretty good. I look good, the background looks good, and the whole thing is bright and sunny, and it says, hey, who's this person? I want to know more about this person. I want to know more about this background. Let's see who this person is and what this person's really like. But is this as far as we can go? Or is there one more step that we might be able to take? Now, this last step is totally up to you, and it's going to be right for some of you and not right for all of you. So you're going to have to use your own judgment. This happens to be the background image that I use for a weekly radio podcast series that I do with my business partner, Bill. Once again, it's an image from my home country, but look what I've done. I have superimposed the logo of the project and also the places on the web where you can easily find and listen to this podcast. Now, for me, that's a smart step because people who are watching the video version of the podcast are going to want to be able to know without me having to waste a whole lot of time telling them every week where they can go and listen. One of the questions that we get all the time is, well, Robin, this sounds really great, but I don't have thousands of dollars to go and buy brand new audio and video equipment. And believe me, I understand. And what you can do is you can go to Amazon and you can buy either new or refurbished equipment. And you're going to find that for not very much money, you can get something that's really going to help you up your game. If you look in the description below, you'll see I've got links to a couple of products that I've used personally that have worked really well for me. In the next segment, we're going to talk about how do you get comfortable on camera so that you look and sound good, but you also seem really natural and friendly and like somebody that people would want to do work with. Okay, so if you're watching this video and you're in your early 20s, you're going to listen to the next couple of minutes and go, what in the world is she talking about? Because you are in the fortunate position of having grown up with cell phones and video cameras, and you have been being recorded and recording yourself since you were about 2 years old, maybe younger. For some of us who are a little bit older and a little bit further down the path, this whole suddenly having to be on video and doing business and looking at the camera and talking naturally, believe it or not, we find that really stressful. And for some of us, and I was one of them, really, really hard to do because we were brought up and we were told that you had to look at the person you were talking to. And where is the person you're talking to in a Zoom meeting? They're not in the camera lens. They're down here somewhere in the corner on the screen, or maybe they're over here, or maybe they're actually on the monitor over there. And for me, that was an incredibly hard habit to break. So what are you going to do? You're going to start a Zoom meeting by yourself. You're going to hit the record button, and you're just going to sit there and tell the camera what you had for breakfast or what you need to accomplish today. And you're going to think in your mind about the fact that there is somebody standing on the other side of the camera that you're talking to. In the very beginning, this could seem very, very uncomfortable and very, very strange. But the only way for that you're going to know if you're managing to do it right is to record yourself, then swallow hard and watch the playback. The other thing that I did that really helped me finally stop worrying about it was when I looked at the camera lens, I thought about looking down a really long hallway and trying to talk to somebody in a normal tone of voice, just my real self, who was way down at the other end of the hallway, but I wasn't going to yell. I wasn't going to raise my voice or be unnatural about it. I was just going to do it. Okay, so that's all well and good. Now you've practiced, you've looked at the lens, you visualized yourself looking down the hallway, and you think, okay, I'm ready. And then you go and you try to do this in a Zoom meeting. And all of a sudden, you realize that you're looking at the lens and you can hear a voice talking, and it's very, very confusing. And your brain keeps wanting to go, look at the person. Look at the person. And then you realize, oh, if I put my camera lens on top of my monitor, not in absolute dead center, but just maybe a little bit, a couple of inches to the left or to the right of center on top of the monitor, then when you're looking at the lens, you can, out of the corner of your eye, see the person that you're actually speaking to, so that when they're speaking, you're still looking at the camera, you're still nodding your head as if you can actually see them, but they're actually down here on the monitor, not up here where the camera is. Well, those are some ideas to get you going. And just remember, practice makes perfect. Every time that you bring your A game to the camera lens, to the Zoom meeting, you're going to improve. And the likelihood that somebody is going to find you really easy and comfortable to work with and to interact with and think that you're very engaging is going to increase. And that's the name of the game. You want to make it very comfortable, very, very easy for the person who is looking at you, watching you, thinking of doing business with you, to say, you know, I really like this person. I really want to do business with this person. Let's take this conversation to the next step. I hope you found this session helpful and you picked up a couple of ideas. If you did, please make sure that you give this video a thumbs up and consider subscribing. If you have questions or ideas for what you would like to see in future videos, please be sure to leave me a comment. In the next section, we're going to talk all about green screen, the difference between using green screen cloth and virtual green screen, and how do you create lighting with things you have around the home to make sure that you look the best that you possibly can. In the meantime, good luck with your business, and I look forward to chatting with you again soon.